Hey, so you're watching this video because you want to learn about the foundation of legal analysis in the United States. You want to learn about IRAC, and we're about to talk about it. My name is Nate Broady. I'm a lawyer turned YouTuber, and I want to talk about the foundation of legal analysis today. I want to talk about IRAC. I was on the law school faculty for about 2 years, and I've taught hundreds of students how to not only use and employ IRAC before they got into law school, but during their law school career, how to refine it so they can be more successful on both law school exams, tests, or what have you. Now, the IRAC method is so important to law school that you're going to use this on probably most, if not all of your law school exams. You're probably going to use this method on the bar exam, guaranteed. And you're probably going to be using this throughout your legal career, even understanding cases when you read them, or just trying to figure out issues that your clients may come to you with. So this is fundamental to learning the law. Now, just to be clear, I actually wasn't going to do an IRAC video because when I Googled this on YouTube, I saw there were so many different IRAC videos. I was like, well, this doesn't really, you don't really need me to really regurgitate. You just type in IRAC in the search bar and you get a whole bunch of videos. But all those videos were missing some key components that I usually teach my students. And it's interesting. I actually sent some of my students to watch the YouTube videos, like after I give my IRAC presentation, and all the students came back with the same thing. They said that none of those videos actually explained what legal analysis was. And that was the big issue because they did understand what IRAC was, but didn't understand the goal of IRAC. And that's what we're going to talk about here first. What is IRAC supposed to do? Now, before we get into the good stuff, if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button, show me some love, give me a like, a share, do all that great YouTube stuff to help support the channel. Also, consider becoming a Patreon. Links in the description bar, and hopefully we can make this happen. So, what do I mean by legal analysis? What do I mean by that? I can tell you the IRAC method, but if you don't know what legal analysis is, it's just going to be talking to a vacuum. Legal analysis is taking facts and applying them to law. That is simply what it is. But those two components, facts and law, you cannot have a legal analysis unless you have them both. If I just gave you some fact, Johnny was found with 2 tons of marijuana. That's a fact. But without any law, you can't perform a legal analysis without the relevant law. This person, Johnny, having 2 tons of marijuana is maybe relevant to some particular statute or something, but unless you know what the law is, that fact is just open. There's nothing to create an analysis from. The same thing if you just had law without any facts. For instance, the law says you can't drive more than 40 miles an hour over the speed limit. Well, without any facts to tell you whether someone is actually driving about that speed limit or anything, then you can't actually create a legal analysis. The goal of IRAC is to take facts and law and merge them together in a particular method, in a particular way, so everyone can understand what you're talking about and everybody can easily understand the analysis. So now that we understand IRAC is bringing those two components together. It's taking facts and law and merging them so we can have a legal analysis about a particular topic. So let's understand what IRAC actually is. Understanding the goal of IRAC is legal analysis, adding facts to law. Now, what is IRAC? Well, IRAC stands for Issue, Rule, Application, Conclusion. Now, IRAC is the way you organize your thoughts and topics so you can create a legal analysis. So first we start with the issue. The issue is just telling your reader what we're doing. The issue statement is simple. It's usually 1 to 2 sentences, and it just tells you, well, this is what we're going to be looking at today. It's better to be specific. It's better to have a very clear understanding of what we're going to be talking about, but that's what the issue statement is. It's just kind of simple like a thesis statement, but it's just an introductory sentence to let the reader know this is what we're going to be talking about. Now you have R, which is for rule. Now rule is even simpler. It is the body of law. Now this is the bane for most law school students, because if you place the wrong body of law in your rule section, then your analysis is no good. So the law piece or the rule piece in IRAC is extremely important. We have our issue. We have now our rule, which is just our body of law, a body of relevant law that we're using to make this analysis. Now we go into our application section. Now our application section is taking that rule, that law that we have in our rule, and taking the facts that we have from either our examination or on the bar exam, and you're putting them together. You're saying, okay, from this rule, what are the relevant facts that apply to this body of law? And that's what your application section does. Your application section is going to be the section that gives you the most points. The application section is going to probably be your longest section. This is the meat and potatoes, but it's so dependent on the rules section that if you use the wrong body of law, then your whole application section is going to be wrong. So it's very important to get the correct body of law in your rules section and then make the correct analysis in your application section. And then the conclusion section, which is probably the easiest and the one that students miss the most. The conclusion is just a 1 or 2 line sentence that just ends your analysis. Now, this is as simple as it gets. But it gets more complicated when the issues become more complicated, when the rules become more complicated. See, fundamentally, IRAC is just a method of organization for your thoughts to be put on paper so a professor like myself would be able to read it and understand it. But I also want to let you know that it's not the only method, but it is the one that's tried, trusted, and true, and it is the one that's being used, and I would say, most, if not all, law schools today. I am telling you this. If you take the bar exam, you are probably going to be employing the IRAC method. So today we went over 2 things. We went over what legal analysis is, and we went over what the IRAC method is for legal analysis. Now, in our next video, we're going to start doing some examples of legal analysis, some examples using IRAC, and then we're going to employ mini IRACs. Most students who are starting law school, even I believe this week or even next week, will go into law school not knowing this. Not knowing what legal analysis is, not knowing what the IRAC method is, and we'll have to learn it throughout the semester. If you're going to law school now, and you've seen this video at the beginning of your law school career, you have such a huge advantage over all the other students. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Nate. Again, consider subscribing to the channel, and we're going to be doing this Introduction to Law School series, and it's really going to take all of our first year of law school and put it here on my channel. So, our first couple of videos are just going to be the foundational stuff. We're going to go over the court system. We're going to go over legal analysis. We're going to go over all the things that you need to know in your first year of law school before you even start. And then we're going to go to the second piece of it, where now here's some of the material from the first year of law school so you guys can understand, you know, some of the constitutional law, some of the contract law pieces that I've actually taught over my career in the law school. So if you'll be so kind, don't forget, consider becoming a Patreon, hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to see you on part 2 of this video, Advanced IRACs. My name is Nate Broady, lawyer, YouTuber, and I'm going to see you next time. Peace.